In today's story, our hero Joey Wheeler wins an entire duel off a game of complete chance. Funny thing is, if I didn't tell you what episode we're on, considering that's his win condition about 95% of the time, you'd have no idea what duel we're on, would you? Get ready to sneak up on a teenage girl sitting at a bench. All my fellow and future outlaws, this is Card Games vs. Humanity, and I am the NKK-double-G. Here was something resembling a recap for a show that resembles something that of a card game, Duel Monsters. So if you enjoyed, don't forget that sub, that bell, that like, hit up the Patreon if you want to support me. Leave a comment telling me if you would do what Yugi did in support of his best friend Joey in these 2 episodes. Absolutely nothing. The kind of nothing Joey's hope seems to embody as this duel proceeds with Jinzo on the field. Further powered up by Espa Roba activating the Amplifier Magic card, raising his attack points by 500 and then another 300 in every standby phase. By the way, if you're wondering what this card actually does, that's what it does. Nothing about being able to activate trap cards on your side of the field even if Jinzo's out. Nope, it's just an attack boost. Espa then says the same thing the doctor said to my mother on the day I was born.
I don't know whether I should attack your monster or give it a baby bottle.
Joey draws Baby Dragon, something that apparently makes him happy to summon. Oh wait, Joey has the Time Wizard in his hand, and despite this being firmly into Season 2, still doesn't count as a monster card. No one's surprised the Time Magic works, aging the Baby Dragon into his 21-year-old self while destroying all the monsters on the opponent's side of the field.
My monster is made of a special dyed titanium metal that's guaranteed not to age, rust, or corrode for 10,000 years.
1, he's a hologram, so he's made up of nothing but sparkly light. 2, Jinzo doesn't have monster protection, or he would have been completely broken back in the day. And 3, did you really have to make up this kind of shit still? Just use a protection card for God's sake. Jinzo destroys the 1,000 Dragon for an undisclosed amount of damage because I don't think his attack actually went up this turn, leaving Joey in a very serious situation with very little option. So scary that we must head back to the hospital where Tristan is with Serenity. You think she'd have at least one family member there instead of, you know, a teenage boy, but nope, that's what we're working with.
Time for me to take your temperature.
Shit, sorry girl, we all know what that means. We then get a scene from the #1 Alpha Academy in the world showing us the proper way on how to pick up chicks.
Guess who?
Taya is not very appreciative of Graham's lesser the molester-like tactics, but luckily for him, she has a phone call right now. It's from Tristan, who tells Taya that Joey's in a duel right now, and it's super important that he gets this message to him or else he's gonna lose that duel. Just send him a text, bro. Back to Joey, who's looking like a man who refuses to give up, activating the Scapegoat Magic card to protect his life points. Unfortunately, Tristan is not a man who has scapegoats to protect him from the wrath that is Serenity, who smelled his bullshit from a mile away because he's the one that said that Joey was actually winning his duel. He thanks him for trying to be nice, but knows that Joey's the kind of bitch that is always consistently losing until he just wins in one turn for no reason, so she's used to it. This is then followed by a bunch of wholesome shit about Joey always being there for her, and she'll be there for him in heart and spirit even if she can't be there directly, so you know, it just brings the whole vibe down. Back to the duel, Espa continues to use actual decent cards, summoning the Reflect Bounder, a monster that can reflect the opponent's attack right back at their life point. Amplifier finally decides to activate this turn, raising Jinzo's attack power to a massive 3,200 and also making me realize that this duel was maybe 10 turns in total. I really thought it would get better, but the dialogue in between turns, it never gets better, does it? Espa then says the same thing every viewer said to themselves the first time they were introduced to Noah.
What a pathetic way to end your Battle City experience.
Unfortunately, Joey goes into super depressed thinking mode, which actually means he's just trying to think properly, a very unhealthy tactic, I know.
Hey, Joey!
Taya!
Oh shit, Taya, how you doing today? Thanks for coming out to support me. It really means so much. Oh, hi, Gramps. He comes to tell Joey that he has only 2 minutes to finish this duel or his sister will die of pure shame brought to the family name. With a renewed sense of hope and vigor, Joey does what he does best. Top decks a random magic card that's completely dependent on RNG and he has no control over it, and that completely decides if he's gonna make it through Battle City or not.
For a guy with ESP, you ask a lot of questions.
Huh, that's kind of like every psychic ever. Joey activates Roulette Spider, attaching itself to Jinzo and forcing it to spin right round baby until it lands on either a monster or a player. 2 options that could land on a Scapegoat and do nothing, 1 that could kill him, and 2 that could land on Espa and kill him. Less than a 50% chance, so of course it's gonna work. Jinzo finally stops spinning and lands on Reflect Bounder, causing Espa to narrate every single freaking thing that's about to happen. No, Jinzo, please don't attack the Reflect Bounder, I will lose. No, Reflect Bounder, please don't reflect that attack despite that being your mandatory effect. I don't know why I'm still yelling like I have control over these cards, but please stop. Now with Jinzo destroying his own monster at 3,200 attack, Espa takes 1,500 points of damage and loses the duel, falling to his knees in a shattered embrace. Taya then does her best impression of a city girl who's standing next to an old man she just realized was rich. Kristen says, thumbs up, dude. I knew you had it. Serenity says, good job, Joey. I knew you could do it. Yugi says, nice work, Joey. I never once thought about helping you.
What happened to his ESP? He couldn't predict he'd be a loser.
That was fucking savage. Joey walks over like the nice guy that he is, saying, wow, tough duel. Now give me your Jinzo, bitch. This causes Espa to start freaking out, which confuses Joey greatly as he loses all the time, you know. Shit happens. You get numb to it. But unfortunately for carnival folk like Roba and his brothers, his ability to win is what they rely on. Or else they'll get bullied no matter where that they go. Don't you dare ask why we don't have any parents or anyone in the entire world to help us. Joey says he knows a thing or two about being a big brother, respecting Espa a bit more for his efforts, but also shit happens, so give me your Jinzo, bitch.
Get up!
What? Where's that voice coming from?
Joey, just look right down. It's right there. You saw it fall on the ground. All of a sudden, Espa's brothers warp down to the crowd and appear randomly in front of Espa, claiming they are proud of the honorable duel that he just fought with Joey. That even though all of them look the same and their parents were definitely more than a bit related, they don't necessarily have to dress the same and be made fun of by everyone. I mean, if you're trying to draw attention away from the fact that you're a bit of a weird family, I think changing outfits might be a huge leap in that direction. The episode ends with Espa finally handing over Jinzo over to Joey after being asked about 5 times, and promising he will never cheat in a duel ever again. Joey says, that's too bad, this is Duel Monsters, that's never gonna change. Well, that's it for this episode. I want to thank you all for watching, and of course a shout out to all my patrons. I don't know if any of you are like me at the end of this episode, but goddamn, Joey just kind of 1 in 10 turns with no strategy whatsoever. It never really gets better, does it? You just want to believe it will. This has been Man from Earth with all the girls, ladies and gentlemen. Be the character you know you're worth. Later. He activates the magic card scapegoat. He activates the magic card scapegoat. He activates the magic card scapegoat. Scapegoat. Oh my god. Joey activates roulette spoiler. Jesus Christ. Fortunately, Joa. I do that so many times. Fucking Joa. The episode ends with...